RWBY Volume 2, Episode 4, Painting the Town. Now, sadly, we are one third through this season, but the first third definitely ended amazingly well in this episode. It was a great fight episode. It was, I think, the longest episode we've actually had so far it was almost 16 minutes long. So that was definitely cool, but we got to see Neptune fight. We got to see what his weapon turned into, and it made me think a lot of, Nora, because his weapon turned into sort of a handheld weapon. It wasn't like something else that was a projectile. So that was pretty cool. He has like almost an electric staff type of thing. We didn't get to see him use it too much, unfortunately, but we got to see him do that. We got to see him be pretty silly when he was trying to interrogate Junior, which didn't work. When he said, like, where did his guys go? And he's like, what type of stupid question is that? I just said they never came back. I don't know where they went. But definitely a good episode. I didn't expect to see sort of the investigation end in this episode. I thought we were going to get 3 separate episodes. Like, it was what happened with Ruby and Weiss, what happened with Yang and Neptune, and then what happened with Blake and Sun. But we got them all together in this episode. We covered what the other 2 teams were doing. We got a little bit extra on Penny, in the beginning. And when we saw that scene, it had me really curious as to who her father is, because when she said it wasn't James, I thought, well, maybe it's Weiss's father. It could be her father, and she doesn't know, because of course he doesn't want Penny out in the world to begin with. So he's probably keeping that hidden from everyone, because with her being what I have to assume is like the first real life AI that this universe has seen, he's trying to make sure that everything's 100% before he says, like, hey, I made a girl that can think and do things for herself and make friends and like people and dislike other people. So I think it could possibly be Weiss's father. He, of course, has the money, and I would assume the smarts to do it as well. But I don't know. I think we might get to see. I don't think it's the other guy that we see in the opening during Penny's really quick scene. I think he's just an assistant like the one woman was in the last episode. So I don't think it's him. But I'm definitely excited to get more info on who Penny's actual father is and why he made her, if it's just for science or for what, because she's supposed to be in the tournament. So maybe that's a part of the trials, though, to see, like, hey, can she interact or be in front of who knows how many people and still pass off as an actual human. So that could be a part of it as well. But we got a little bit on that. Then we got to see a lot more of the White Fang in this episode. Sadly, we didn't get to see Adam. But we see the White Fang when they're doing their recruiting. They have one of the robots. They have multiple robots already. I didn't expect the actual fight with the robot to be this episode, but they kind of cleared that up. Like, even if this gets destroyed, they technically already have at least 2 other ones. So with this one that got destroyed in this episode, they still have other robots that they somehow stole from the company or from the military. So that'll be interesting to see when they come in, like, hey, even though you guys destroyed this, we still got 2 other ones, and however many people they're going to actually have fighting outside of the robots. But they recruited people. We got to see Junior as well as the twins in this episode, which was pretty cool. Another funny scene with Neptune when Yang was like yelling at everybody, and he was like, wow, what a woman. And then he just looks at them, and he's like, sup, and they just walk off from him. But it was cool to see them. We know they're, at least based off of the opening, we're going to get to see them join Cinder and Roman later in the season, even though Junior doesn't exactly like Roman at this point, because he hired a bunch of his men and they just disappeared. So who knows what the heck happened to them. Well, we know what happened, but Junior doesn't know. But they're going to join up at some point. That should be pretty cool to see. I really want to see the twins fight again. Junior, it was okay. I mean, if he has a semblance, that'll be cool to see too. But yeah, I really want to see the twins fight, and also I'd love to see what other powers they might have as well. But speaking of semblances, Sun bust out like some freaking spirit walker type stuff and made like 2 cool like ghost forms of him. That was really cool. I didn't expect that. And of course that was right after we got to see Neptune using his weapon and jumping on Roman when he was inside the robot. But that was really cool. One version had the staff extended, the other version didn't. But that was pretty interesting. So I can't wait to see that, and I can't wait to see if he can use it in different ways. Like, if the only reason he didn't join in was because they were on cars and stuff, which was a really cool scene. They were jumping from car to car, and just like in the trailer, it was like they're just jumping off these cars with super strength, pushing people off the road, which I thought was kind of funny and random. But I'd love to see him use that ability where sort of the two ghosts don't disappear after one attack, and maybe that'll happen in like season 3 or maybe 4 or something. But that was really cool. I wasn't expecting that. Also, one random thing I noticed when he was with Blake when they were going into the White Fang, typically he has his staff just folded in half on his back, but he had it separated into like the 4 guns, and you could see like the bottoms of the guns were kind of all just curved along his back, and they were tucked under his shirt. I thought that was pretty interesting to look at because he typically just has the staff folded in half, or I guess in fourths really, and it's just behind his back, but he had the guns lined up. So I thought that was just an interesting little thing that caught my attention, because it's not like just a big red stick on his back or like, you know, a big rectangle. But definitely an amazing episode. I love the fight. Wish we could have seen more of Sun and Neptune, but I love the ending where they got knocked off, and then it's like, you know, what happened to those guys? And they're just eating noodles, and for some reason the old guy has a noodle shop as well as the bookstore / dust store. But that was pretty funny. That was really funny, actually. They're just like, I'm sure they're fine. Like, yeah, I guess. Let's just sit here and eat noodles, even though we got tossed off of the freeway, and they could have been hit by cars. They could have been shot by this giant effing robot we were fighting. But let's get some noodles and just relax. So that was a funny ending. But the fight was definitely amazing. We got to see all the girls use some really cool powers. We got to see them really work as a team. RWBY was shooting off like code words for different attacks. Like freezer burn was cool. The bumblebee stuff and the ladybug. And then we get a really cool explanation as to how Yang always goes into like sort of a Super Saiyan type mode, and it's her semblance is that she basically just uses the force against her, and it gives her more energy. So she's basically just kinetic energy in human form. She gets hit, and then she can use that as more energy. So that was amazing to see. That was just really cool. And also, we got a really, really sweet song. We only got a little bit of it, as we typically do in the episodes when there's a new one. But it's our second new song. I like this one for sure more than the other, but I love the other one too. But that's a nice slow song. This is like the cool rock song, which we typically get for RWBY. And it was a great song. It fit really well. It seems like it's tailored to Yang as a character, so it's kind of like her second song, I guess. And when you think about it, I guess Red Like Roses would be RWBY's second song, really. So it would be cool if all the characters kind of got a new second song. I guess RWBY would technically get a third song, but it was definitely a great song. It was great action, and I mean, there's not much to say about it. It was just a great action. We even get a new villain character, Neo, who may or may not be related to Roman. And the only reason I say is because her umbrella, when they showed it, initially, I don't know how she blocked it. I don't know what her power is exactly. I think she can, within a radius, teleport certain things to certain locations. I think that's how she was able to deflect all of the flame when Yang hit her umbrella. But her weapon is the same as Roman. I don't know if she's like his younger evil sister, or why she has half pink, half brown hair, which made me instantly think of strawberry and chocolate ice cream. When like just how she looks, even her clothes, it made me think of ice cream. It was just weird in my head like that. But she's working with him. Her power is amazing. Honestly, when she showed up and Yang like charged at her, everybody was waiting, and she did the little bow and stuff, and Yang charged. When she hit and they shattered, I was just watching. I was like, that was amazing. Like, I yelled it just like that. Unfortunately, nobody's here, so I was just being nerdy by myself. But that blew my mind. I didn't expect it to do that. That's always, when I see teleportation done well, it's really sweet. And I've always thought like weird forms of teleportation look cool when it's like the image is there and then you shatter the image and they're not there anymore. I always think that looks amazing. And that's exactly what happened. That's always what I do when I ever think of like teleportation as a power. I always think like they shatter through, I guess, the current dimension that they're in, and then they jump somewhere else, because that just looks cooler than, oh, they just disappeared like Batman or something. But that was amazing. I love seeing it. I can't wait to see what we get next week. It probably won't be another fight episode, but I didn't expect this one to be one either. I thought it was just going to be another funny episode where we get Yang and Neptune, and I was excited for that, which we did really get. We got funny parts with them. We got like tiny bits of comedy with Blake and Yang, like when he's like, "Are you sure this is the place?" And he's like, "I'm just going to take your word for it." I love the animation on on Sun. I thought that was pretty cool. I feel like his animation changed a lot more than anyone else's. Like Sun and Neptune are like the two characters where I feel like we get to see most of the new animation because Sun's just always excited whenever he's in a certain moment. He's either excited and happy or he's just like, all right, I said something wrong, so I need to really change the way I look right now. But we got a few other moments, like when they were playing the board game in episode 2, we got to see a lot of the facial expressions, which was pretty cool. But it's something I always seem to notice in Sun, and also his hair moves like crazy in this season because they've had time to work with the system, so they know they can make better animation and stuff. So that's something I noticed. Like his head moves and his hair is just like moving like crazy compared to before. So it's just like random little stuff I noticed in the episode, but definitely a great episode. Of course, comment below, let me know what you guys thought about this episode, your favorite parts, least favorite parts. And now that we've had I guess technically it's our second fight episode since we had the season premiere was the best lunch fight ever. But this was our first really official fight between the good guys and the bad guys. What would you say your favorite team up was between all the little moves that RWBY was giving off? Would you say it was like the cool ice burn thing? Would you say it was the bumblebee, the ladybug? Which move was your favorite that you saw in this episode? And of course, what do you guys think of the character Neo? What do you guys think about her powers? What do you guys think about her look? How do you guys think she's related to Torchwick? Do you guys think she's actually blood related or just another henchman that he somehow recruited into becoming evil? Comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.